Okay, Neil, you're involved in so many aspects of poker other than just playing the game. You run your website, you stake players, you host awards, you attend openings, you appear on webcasts, that kind of thing. And why do you choose to be so involved in all of these things?
Yeah, I don't know whether I did really choose to be involved in all these things. I definitely chose to be in some of them. I mean, giving awards out and stuff, you can easily say no when they ask you. I'm not very good at saying no generally, and a lot of the stuff I'm doing in terms of the website. So we're doing some training, some staking, some. There's a forum, so I'm posting on there a lot. The social networking aspect. Those things I was doing anyway. I was already talking to people about poker on Facebook all the time. I was already getting people writing to me, asking me questions about what it's like to be a professional poker player, and I was answering them mostly on Facebook. And some people emailing me randomly. I was already staking some people. I started staking people in a big way in 2007, really, October 2007. I started staking James Aikenhead and Sonny Chatter of the Hit Squad. And I just kind of thought I could marry all these things together and meld them into one thing. And that's kind of where Black Book Poker evolved. I sort of thought that if I'm going to do all this stuff, I'd like to be a bit better organised about the way I do it. And I thought having a website and doing it that way, might be the best way to do it. So the staking very much was something that it became like a full-time job, really. And just keeping a spreadsheet of how much everybody owed and how much I owed them and that kind of thing. I just can't do it. I'm just terrible at those things. So. Having an actual company and then having employees to deal with that kind of thing is just such a relief. But then I get extra time now to do other things, so now I'm just filling up my time doing other things. So now I'm spending so much more time talking to people online about poker. People just constantly writing to me about staking and just advice about poker. So I've kind of got into that, but I like it. I like poker. I've always liked poker. My only kind of slight regret at the moment is I just feel like I don't get quite enough time to play. I mean, we were in the Victoria Casino this afternoon, and this is the first time I've been in here for like 4 or 5 days. And I mean, they used to send a doctor around my house if I didn't come in for 4 or 5 hours. In 2007, I pretty much moved in here. There was actually literally a time where I didn't come in for 3 days and somebody came around my house to see if I was ill. And they were worried I might have killed myself or something like that. And I just basically, just had a bit of flu or something. But I mean, that would be my one regret about it, that I'm just not quite getting as much time to play poker. But I'm playing a bit more online. I play quite a lot on Black Book, so I like that. And I can be doing my emails and answering questions. It doesn't help my poker, but I can be dealing with a lot of the other stuff while I'm at home and still playing. So that's, I guess, one of the good things about internet poker.
Well, I was going to ask, I mean, has that lack of play affected your game? Has it made your game struggle in any way?
Yeah, I think, the games have got harder. In the live games in London have definitely got harder in the last couple of years. Maybe 2 years ago, we had the EPT in 2008 in London and all the festival and everything like that that goes with it. And that was really when the game started to kick up in London. We started to get 10.25 no limit pretty much every day, sometimes 25.50 no limit, maybe 3 times a week. And there were some people playing who were, basically just giving the money away. There's not so much of that anymore. A lot more pros moved to London. The tax situation for some players from France, from Scandinavia, particularly the Norwegians, meant that it was a big advantage for them to move to London. And of course, they came to London, they started playing poker in the Vic. So now, if you come in here and you're looking for that kind of game, the chances are you're going to find. There was always quite a few pros in the game, but now there's going to be foreign pros as well. As the regular kind of London pros. So yeah, the games have got harder, and I'm probably not putting in as many hours as I was. Yeah, it makes it psychologically, it makes it a bit harder. If you're playing in big games, I like it when I can play 5 8-hour sessions in a week. Now if I have a losing session, I don't have to mull it over for too long. It's not in the back of my mind for too long. I just go back the next day and probably 2 more sessions, I'll have probably had a winning session, and now I'll all be cheered up again. The way it is at the moment, there's not so many games around, and I'm a bit busy with other things. I can quite often go a week or 10 days without having a win, and well, that's miserable, isn't it? Walking around being a loser for a week. So yeah, it's kind of harder to adapt to, but I guess I can live with it.
Well, you did have one cash at the recent World Series of Poker Europe in the Heads Up event. An event you told me before you definitely weren't going to play. So
yeah,
what happened there?
I wasn't going to play. Yeah, actually, I hadn't. Didn't really have a particularly good, whatever we call it these days, London Poker Festival. I played the WPT, which I thought was a pretty good value event in terms of like the standard of the players. I was upset to find out afterwards that I was paying £200 extra dues in that in order to fund the Bellagio cardroom employees and the arrival of Phil Ivey. That I didn't realise that tax didn't seem to be in the headline when I entered a 5,000 plus 300 tournament, but it didn't make much difference to me. I found kings against aces, so that was the end of that one. Notice the way I segued a little bad beat story in there. That's not even a bad beat. I was like 20%. I played the EPO, which I thought was quite good. I quite enjoyed that tournament. I didn't cash in it, but it was fun. And I played a TV thing, the World Poker Open. None of those went too well. And then I was straight onto the Empire. I sort of had it in my mind that I wasn't going to play all the events. I was definitely keen to play the 6 max, and that didn't go very well at all. The PLO didn't go very well at all, hardly won a hand. And the 1,000 event, where somebody played a hand very weirdly early on against me and basically ruined my chances in the first 10 minutes. So I was I'm not in love with the Empire anyway, and I was kind of thinking that I might even just quit the World Series of Poker Europe for the year and not even bother with the main event, which is probably the worst tournament of the year in lots of ways. I always sort of had this kind of mad notion that I might fly to Argentina and play in the Latin American Poker Tour event. And I was thinking to myself, I definitely need a break. I'm in the middle of this big festival of poker. We've still got the EPT to come. Maybe I should just take a couple of days off. So obviously I wasn't going to take total days off. I'm too much of a sicko for that. They were having a 200 rebuy in the Vic, so I thought I'll come to the Vic and I'll just play that. I'll leave the Heads Up tournament. The 200 rebuy starts at 7:30, and I can just rebuy. I'll put £1,200 into it. Pretty much bound to make the last 2 or 3 tables, and it'll be nice to have the feeling of being in contention in a tournament, and you never know, I might get lucky and win it, and I don't mind if I have to invest 4 times as much as the average person or something like that. You know, I have a good record in rebuy tournaments where I do that, so I'm pretty happy to do that if I need to. Anyway, I was just thinking that, and it was about 4:20 in the afternoon, and the Heads Up tournament started at 5. And one of the guys from the cash game in the Vic called me up to see if I wanted to have a last longer bet with him in the Heads Up tournament. And I said, no. I said, Heads Up tournaments are terrible. I hate Heads Up tournaments. They're always full of internet pros who are specialists in Heads Up cash games and Heads Up sit and goes. They've all played zillions of them, whereas I only really play Heads Up if I am lucky enough to be the last 2 in a big MTT, which doesn't happen very often. So I was thinking, it was ridiculous, £10,000 to play a load of specialists who are way better than me at Heads Up. And I pretty much sold the guy on this, because he then said, all right, well, why don't I put you in the tournament? And I sort of thought, well, I guess if I'm going to play for free, I might as well go down to the Empire and play. So he staked me. So there you go. That was kind of funny, because I'm always staking people. And I must have turned down like 20 people who asked me for staking in that tournament on the basis that it's the worst tournament ever and no value. And then I put my money where my mouth was, because I didn't, I said it wasn't a tournament you should put money into, and so I didn't. But yeah, it's kind of typical of my luck recently. Been a bit out of form. The only tournament I go and cash in is the one where I'm playing for a smaller percentage of myself, but. Yeah, it was a fun tournament. In the end, actually, I thought it was fair value. Looking around the room, there was quite a lot of people in that tournament who didn't fit the profile of the people I was looking to avoid. The Heads Up tournaments that happened during the EPT were definitely of that ilk. They were just full of you know, internet geniuses who play heads up, sit and goes all day long and are all supernova elite on PokerStars. The people that played the World Series one there was a lot more kind of rich business people, and the kind of sponsored pros who have been around a few years who probably play about as much heads up as I do. I played against some good players. I played against Lucky Express, Marcello Merigliano, who played against Durr in the Heads Up TV cash game, and he played decent. I played against a kid called McLean Carr, funnily enough, who's a pretty decent player. And I played against Chris Moorman, who finally turned up on time to play. He missed the first half an hour of our heads up match, but so it's not like I played against really easy people. And I finally, I was tired actually by the time I got knocked out. I played 2 matches against Moorman and McLean, and then had to go straight into an 11 p.m. match against Gus Hansen, having had like a 15-minute break, and basically got mashed by Gus. Really, he. I don't know, he said to me afterwards, we were joking during the thing that when they interview you afterwards, if the person you played against is terrible, you should say in the interview that he took interesting lines in 1 or 2 tricky spots. And that's generally what you say when you think that the bloke was awful. Anyway, he chose to go for the other one, which is to say, oh, you were just unlucky, I had a lot of really big hands, which I know as an old cash grinder that's what you always say when some complete mug has lost all their money and you're keen for them to come back again and you don't want to upset them. So I've seen him since actually, Gus, and I kind of joked with him about that. He hasn't kind of let on that he didn't really have lots of big hands and he just bluffed the shit out of me, but I suspect that he probably did.